they're applying and all that. So make your storytelling part, I call it the hooker paragraph. Make it just make it a paragraph. It might be lengthy, no problem, but just make it a paragraph. And don't forget what I said earlier, that you are ending the story. You are linking the story with the reason why you picked interest in that program. So at the end of after the story, I told you guys earlier that at the end of the story, eh, you should connect it with the reason why you are going for that program. So the story should be a strategic one. So you just this story I'm telling you about can just be 5 lines. You summarize the story in 5, 6 lines. Do you understand? And at the end, you now tell them that it was because of this incidents that you decided to study law, to further your study in law. Do you get it now? So because we're asking you to tell story does not mean you go and start telling them, you tell them about your life story. Any story you pick should not go beyond first paragraph. It should just be something you do briefly. Do you understand? You summarize it and you now connect it to the reason why you choose the program. And everything should be in the first paragraph. So that from the second paragraph, you can now go into the details. So that's it. I don't know if I answered your question, Mercy.
Yes, you did. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other question? Guys, we have less than 10 minutes, but we have Daniel here who is willing. Okay. Chinaza, okay, you have the floor. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I want to first of all appreciate the speaker. It was really insightful. Like, the session was really insightful and I learned a lot of things. But there's something I'm getting confused about, and it is the difference between the SOP and personal statement. Because some posts will be like that you should tell stories. Your stories, that kind of stories that will give you an edge of why you want to study this sport. And I'm hearing this in SOP again. I just want to know if there's a difference or are they both the same thing? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for asking the question. This is one thing I tell people because it's actually a confusion. Some university will say give us a personal statement. Some university will say give us a motivational letter. What do they call it again? Personal statement, motivational letter. Some people will use the SOP, which is statement of purpose. See, this is the first thing I used to tell people, that no matter what they call it, an SOP is what the university says it is. Listen to me. I might be wrong. But this is the first thing I tell people, that an SOP is what the university says it is. That is why I said the most important thing is to first, before you put your pen to paper, please go and find out the specification of the university. What does the university require? Whether they are calling it a motivation letter, or they are calling it a personal statement, or they are calling it whatever the name they give to it, please go and find out the specification. What do they want to hear? What do they want to know in the SOP? Now, having said this, there are little difference. Yes, there can be little difference and approaches to these things. Okay, for example, when they ask you to write a motivation letter, you can start with an address. You write you can you can get the university's address and address your letter to the admission committee, or if it's a scholarship, you address it to the scholarship committee. That is for motivation letter. So if they say motivation letter, you can start with an address, although that will not earn you any mark. Sincerely, I've seen so many motivation letters start without an address and they got admission. But when they call it motivation letter, you can start with the school address, just the normal way you write a letter. You start with the school address and address it to the admission committee. And after writing everything, you will end it the same way you end um, a letter, like yours sincerely. You now add your name at the down. Just do you understand? Just the normal way you write a letter, you can write it that way. If it's a motivation letter, now if it is a personal statement, if they say personal statements, personal statements, when they say you should write a personal statement, it encompasses all, all your journey so far. They want to know about your journey so far. You will start from your your university. You know how your thesis, the thesis you wrote one university, and if you've done master before, you understand. They want to a personal statement is they want to know about your journey so far. So you tell them everything. Although when they ask you to write a personal statement, they have specifications for it. That's why I say, no matter what they call it, please go and find out the specification. It is the specifications that will let you, that will give you an hint into what they are looking for. So these are just some of the little differences, but um, just know that no matter what they call it, it is what the university says it is. Because there are sometimes, if people tell you, okay, this is a definition of a personal statement, you'll be surprised that when some university give out the specification of a motivation letter, you will find those things in a motivation letter. So that's why I say, whether you're calling it an SOP or motivation letter, it is what the university says it is. So find out their specification and write accordingly to how they want it. Give them what they want to see. So that's it. I hope I've answered your question.
Thank you. Chinaza, because of our time, we won't take any more questions, but I have this one last one. We just have 4 minutes. This person, okay, Ignatius Balayo is asking, what advice do you give someone preparing for a PhD program for fall 2026? What should they be doing now? And can you answer that in like 1 minute?
I can't get a question.
What would you advise somebody who is preparing for a PhD in the fall of 2026? What should the person be doing now, right now?
Okay. If you are looking forward to applying for PhD, I think by now what you should be talking about writing papers, because at that level they want to see what you've done. You know what you've done. It will give you an edge. I don't know if you've not written any, or if I'm talking about publishing, papers, this PhD stuff. If you have not done one before, I think you should have it in mind.